Good afternoon and welcome everyone on this very sunny and hot day. My name is Sarah Novotny and I am the Head of Digital Creative and Tech Sector Support at the GC Business Growth Hub based in Greater Manchester. We're here today to celebrate the launch of the new fully funded Tech Adoption Service tool, which has been developed as a response to the ever-growing demands on the UK-based entrepreneurs, startups, freelancers, and SMEs. We're very proud to be able to announce this initiative, as it's the result of a great collaboration between the Greater Manchester and London authorities with the GC Business Growth Hub. As ever, our ambition is to help business owners with this tool to navigate comparison and the selection process, as well as the deployment of technologies that can improve productivity, efficiencies, and help increase sales and turnover amongst many of the other benefits of tech. The other great aspect, of course, is that this tool gives local developers a platform to inform the public about their digital services, but more of that and all sorts about the tool in our demo a bit later. So without any further ado, let's kick off our full agenda of hearing from the tool's funders, followed by a roundtable conversation with SMEs that have walked the walk, have fallen down the pitfalls, but have had their successes. And I hear they'll share some tips and tricks with us as well as mentioned, the demo of the tool. So let's please welcome Councillor Elise Wilson, Greater Manchester Combined Authorities Portfolio Lead for Economy via a video.
Hello everyone and welcome to today's event, and thank you all for joining us. In partnership with the Business Growth Hub and the London Business Hub, the Greater Manchester Combined Authority is proud and excited to launch the Technology Adoption Service. It's a new platform designed to help small businesses, startups and SMEs find technology solutions that fit their needs. This joint initiative between Greater Manchester and the London City region has been developed in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, and it is in particularly to help small businesses deal with some of the challenges that they have faced. It aims to help businesses in both regions adopt technology to improve productivity, increase efficiencies, bring businesses online and help create increased sales and turnover. The service is entirely free to use and enables businesses to search and compare tech tools. Over 400 solutions covering a wide range of business improvement goals have been researched, catalogued and listed. Whether you want to manage your finance more effectively, make better use of data or sell more online, technology can provide a solution. But for leaders of small businesses, knowing what tech to use can be difficult. Business leaders can find the landscape difficult to navigate and want to be sure of seeing a return on their investment. Others are entirely focused on running their day-to-day operations and they simply don't have the time to analyse all the options. The Technology Adoption Service offers proven technologies that can be used by almost any business that have clear productivity benefits. Businesses can use this service to compare products by goals, costs, features and compatibility. The service is completely unbiased, there are no sponsors and all the information on the site is completely free and impartial. It offers a simple way for businesses to search and identify the tool that best suits their needs, with additional support on buying and adopting the technology provided by the Business Growth Hub. I know that it's, when I speak to many businesses, how difficult this can be, and finding the time and knowing what's right. The opportunity now to have this service and access that information for free and knowing that it's impartial, I genuinely think will be a really good thing for many small businesses in Greater Manchester. Last year, we launched our economic vision for Greater Manchester, a bold vision led by the business and the LEP, working with the Combined Authority to set the sort of Greater Manchester we want to help create, and helping businesses of all sizes innovate, improve their productivity, embrace digital technologies are important parts of our economic vision. The launch of the Technology Adoption Service is another step towards realising those ambitions. And I encourage any business that could benefit to explore the service, get in touch with the Business Growth Hub and learn more.
Thank you very much, Elise, for sending in the video. I understand she's on annual leave. That was the only way for her to kind of join us. But some really, words that I would absolutely echo around Greater Manchester being, a very ambitious region, and us throughout the pandemic having realized that, tech literacy is very different, more different than what we expected actually for so many different subsectors and businesses. So yeah, I'd echo that. This tool is really one step, another step into the right direction, shall I say. So as we've heard, this is a joint undertaking between Greater Manchester and the London region. So let's please welcome Theo Blackwell, Chief Digital Officer for Greater London Authority.
Well, thank you very much, Sarah. We're really proud to launch this exciting new service in collaboration with Greater Manchester. It's not the only collaboration we do with Greater Manchester Combined Authority. I work really closely with your Chief Digital Officer, Phil Swan, and his team. And can I just say what a fantastic job they do? And we have pretty much wholesale adopted the Greater Manchester approach to joining up data so we can serve our residents better. Now, this service, the Technology Adoption Service, will help small businesses across London and Manchester search for, discover, compare tech tools to make improvements in the day-to-day running of their business. In speaking with businesses, we found that many had said they found it difficult to find the right solution given the volume of information out there. And it's also not easy to see the value that technology can bring when you're busy with the day-to-day running of your business. That's not just a business issue, it's also a big challenge in public services. So we know that there's a lack of expertise and support out there to help you invest successfully. So our ambition for the adoption service is to address some of these barriers and support our businesses access the technologies they need to recover, grow and innovate. So if you're thinking about the best way to make use of technology to shift parts of your business online and continue trading through COVID-19 and recovery, plan for growth in the year to come, or just to spend less time fiddling with spreadsheets, then the Technology Adoption Service will help guide you through your software buying journey. Well, the eyes of the business world can often be on the next big thing in cutting edge technology. We know that tried and tested technologies such as accountancy software, customer relationship management systems, and cloud-based computing can result in significant productivity increases for businesses, up to 20%. And as businesses are continuing to feel the effects of the pandemic, it's even more important we do what we can to help them expand their online presence and access new services. For example, brick and mortar retail shop have been forced to remain shut throughout the lockdown period. They can use this platform to find out more about which e-commerce solution might be right for them to drive online sales. Now, in our economic development strategy for London, Sadiq Khan outlined his ambition as Mayor of London to support businesses across all sectors of the economy to make use of the latest technology to ensure that we get the productivity gains and benefits and that they're accessible to all. And this service is a really important step in meeting this ambition. We aim to create new markets for London's and Manchester's technology suppliers while growing the UK technology sector as a whole. And so supporting innovation, productivity growth, and doing that across the UK are core priorities when the Mayor sits down to work and when I do as well. In his recent speech, the Prime Minister outlined the importance that technology will have in levelling up. This exciting collaboration with Manchester to support technology adoption is hopefully one of the many more cross-city initiatives to come to support that kind of recovery we want to see in the UK. So I'd encourage you to visit the London Business Hub to find out more about where you can access support and mentorship from one of our trusted advisors. And I hope that this continues to be part of our many collaborations with Greater Manchester to pilot solutions, to deal with shared recovery challenges, and support that scaling up of successful approaches so that they benefit everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to address you today.
Thank you so much, Theo. I was nodding ahead, obviously camera off. I was nodding ahead. I couldn't agree more. We are really proud. I know there's many different initiatives across the regions, and I have to say I was smirking at your comment around stopping to fiddle around with spreadsheets, especially since we've. Which it's very true. It's very true. We have had, however, a couple of businesses that are not just fiddling around with spreadsheets, but they're fiddling around with just paper-based books and things like this. So again, many different entry points into this tech adoption journey. And as you said, I think success lies within collaboration. It lies within bringing together those that are developing and creating solutions closer to those that are needing those solutions. So thank you very much for joining us here today. And I'm sure we'll hear more from you soon. Thank you.
Many thanks.
So moving on to those that kind of can give us first-hand experiences around what their tech adoption was like. I would like to invite to the stage our three businesses that are joining us today to give us their experiences, insights, and I guess some of the things to avoid. Hello, Tom, Lee, and Ben.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Hi.
Could I ask you to introduce yourselves? You'll do a much better job at that than I will. Yourselves and your business. Tom, shall we start with you?
Absolutely, yeah, of course, Sarah. I'm Tom Matthew. I'm commercial director of a food service based in Bury, Greater Manchester. So we're called Dunster's Farm, and we're a third-generation family business. And we deliver food and drink on a next-day delivery basis to hundreds of customers across the north of England.
Thank you very much. Lee?
Hi everyone, my name is Lee McIntosh and I run Central Tickets. So we provide a seat filling service to event organizers in the entertainment industry. So when a producer of a show has a show in their hands that isn't selling as well, our members go along, they fill the seats and they book the ticket for £4 to £6.50 per ticket.
Wow. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing a bit more about that because obviously that industry has gone through tremendous change. Ben, do you want to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, so I'm Ben Fowler. I'm the director and founder of a Manchester-based company called Alternate Experiences. We use games to create better and more engaging experiences, particularly within the events, training, team building, and networking spaces.
Wow, thank you very much. So a real array of different kinds of businesses, all on their individual journey. So we'll be hearing a bit more about that. Starting with you, Tom, your business has been through a really incredible journey, I think, if you allow me to say, because you've gone from almost no tech to now being a really tech-savvy business. Could you tell us a bit more about that journey and your experience in it?
Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. I think the amazing thing, just to say first, is that there's, with technology, there's always more. You never finish the journey, do you? Because the technology is always evolving. So, we have come a long way, but we've still at the same time got a long way to go. So our journey started about 7 years ago, or from my perspective, it did anyway, despite it being around 60 years old as a business. My sister and I joined the business together 7 years ago. And a lot of things were paper-based, or we had an ERP system of sorts, but it wasn't fit for purpose. So our first major sort of step on this journey was a fit-for-purpose ERP system. And that brought us huge benefits. I think one thing in particular that I would mention there was we went to paperless voice pick in the warehouse for the picking operation. And that just improved accuracy, productivity. it improved everything hugely and saved us an enormous amount of money. So that was fantastic first step for us and a really good win. Although of course it was challenging putting it in. And then since then we've gone on. CRM was a big focus. We brought a CRM system in, which has gone well. And we've done various other things as well in terms of telematics, tracking our vehicles, things like that. And we've got more to come. You know, we're working on BI at the moment and improving our e-commerce. So, you know, like you said, you can never be done with this, which is the exciting bit, but also the challenging bit, because finding the right pieces of kit is the big challenge. Which is obviously this is a huge help. I would have appreciated it a few years ago.
I'm glad to hear that, but I'm also, you know, really intrigued. I'll probably be kind of asking a little bit more about that journey, because it can't have been smooth. Was there a lot of resistance from staff or even some of the leaders?
Absolutely. I think you kind of expect it, but I think that's about how you approach it. And we've learned a lot all over the years about how we implement stuff, and you learn the hard way. You know, sometimes it can be hard, and the change management were the biggest piece. The ERP, for example, I think we did certain things well and certain things badly. One example I've said before was our picking team. They were all really, really anti the stuff. So we had to, and eventually we just sat down and listened, you know, what's the problem? And that was because they thought they were going to be replaced by these headsets. So they were really worried for their own jobs. So once we sat down and explained how it worked and that they'd still be needed, but they'd be more accurate and they'd be able to pick quicker, and it would be a lot easier, then you know, the resistance went away. So I think clear communication is the big take home from me.
Now that's really interesting. It's actually also a perfect segue into kind of the questions I wanted to ask Lee, because, you know, often there is a certain amount of fear, and it's one of the very few silver linings of the pandemic around kind of tech adoption and kind of being closer to it, because pre-pandemic there's been this notion around tech replacing people or anything, and really should it be about enhancing what we do and you know, take out some of those routine tasks. But actually over to you, Lee, because I know your business, you know, you've touched up on this a little bit, but your business is helping other businesses kind of solve problems that they're having. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that, how you know, the experience or different tools that you might want to highlight that are helping kind of the experience?
Sure. Well, in my trade, in theatre, it traditionally works with a box office and what we call COBO, which is collection from box office. So obviously that's a big problem for entertainment venues right now, because with social distancing being such a big thing, they can't have queues of people collecting tickets. So we used the pandemic really just to focus on solving that problem ahead. We anticipated the needs of all of these venues so that we would be the go-to when they were able to open again. So we developed two different functionalities on our website around this. The first was to program their specific seating maps within our website, which we could then share with venues. And they all have unique seating plans, and even one venue might have a seating plan that is different for each show that they have. So there's a lot of back and forth with them regarding their specific configurations. But what it allowed us to do was they would assign seats to us that we would then book, and we would assign the seat number, things like the door entrance, the level entrance, staggered times for arrival. We were able to put all of that on the tickets, which then meant that the end customer didn't need to queue at the box office. They could just present our e-ticket and be waved in or scanned in, depending on the technology that the specific venue had. But then there were other venues, like smaller venues that weren't so tech savvy, where we produced a different technology, which was just a simple Excel file, which we would book tickets on a best available basis, and then we would send them the Excel spreadsheet. Then the venue would complete that with, you know, stalls 31, 32, row E, for example, and send it back to us. And then we would apply that same logic, apply it to the ticket. And it just meant that all of these venues were able to continue using a seat filling service, because there is audience confidence issues right now. They want to project that the show is doing better than it is. So yeah, those were the main things that we did to help those people.
So incredible problem solving and really great innovation. Are you expecting that to be a lasting change? So even if, there is not that need or, kind of client confidence coming back, I guess it's the hope that people will continue using this with confidence and they won't go back to having to queue or anything like this.
I think they will continue to use it because they're seeing that it's just more efficient and allows their staff to focus on higher value tasks. Like tapping into what Tom was saying earlier about people fearing that they might be replaced by tech. What I'm seeing, and certainly what we did in our team, was use initiatives like this to pull people away from what we call like low-level tasks. We might as well get them focusing on higher value projects where they can contribute more to our business. So actually, we've used tech to empower people to get involved in more important integral parts of running the business.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing, really fascinating. Thank you very much for sharing. Well, you've touched upon efficiency quite a bit. We'll jump onto that as a sub-theme in a minute. Just keen to hear from Ben as well, because I know Ben's business had to really pivot. The overused word had to change with incredible speed into kind of the tech arena, digital arena. So keen to hear from you how you've done that, how that process was for you.
Yeah, indeed. So when the pandemic first hit, our business model was effectively wiped out as it traditionally was. So everything we did previously was face to face, and obviously that was unviable. And at the time, thought that it was likely to be unviable for a reasonable amount of time, i.e., longer than a month. And so it became apparent that we would have to find a way to do what we traditionally did virtually. So the team building games and all those other games that we do in a different way, and we had to do that at incredible speed. Because we're a small business, we can't just stop for months on end and take our time. We needed to get up and trading again ASAP. The main requirement that we had was to ultimately find a platform where we could deliver the games that we delivered to large groups in particular. And so what I would say is, if you're ever having to do something, if you're ever having to adopt tech at incredible speed, the main lesson for myself and for the team was just to be super clear on what your absolute must-have requirements are, because there was just no time for your nice-to-haves. There was no time for that. It was, what do we need to adopt that will fulfill our must-haves for the next 2 months? And in that sense, also accepting that we might have to be iterative. So just because you adopt a piece of tech once doesn't mean you have to forever stick with that piece of tech. And that was a learning for us. We've changed the tech that we've used over the last year, at least a little bit in some places, because we had to do what we had to do to get up and running. And so I would just say, in that position of having to do a really fast pivot, you just have to be crystal clear on what your must-have requirements are, because we spent a lot of time doing so. Obviously, a tool like this would have been great at the time, but as a result, we had to spend a lot of time doing various bits of online research, receiving different demos, and that was already long enough. And it would have taken even longer if we weren't laser focused on the questions that we were asking those providers, because we knew exactly what we needed to ask them. We were straight in there with, can you do this? No, this conversation is now over. Thank you, but you can't fulfill our requirements. Speak to you in 6 months, maybe. Because otherwise we would have wasted so much time going back and forth with all these vendors. It would have been much easier if we had known if they were going to fulfill our requirements from the start. But again, that information is really tough up front. They all want to put you on a demo, open days, etc. So we were looking in particular at kind of live stream technology, so the likes of Livestorm and things like that. So that for us was our somewhat stressful journey, and what we kind of took from that. And we just accepted that it's hard to get our tech working 10 out of 10, and we just accept that actually sometimes 8 out of 10 is good enough. It's hard to find a 10 out of 10 piece of tech, and that's okay. To be honest, that's okay.
Wow, some good advice in this already, and I guess from my side, the really big hope that we will never find ourselves in a situation where suddenly everything is wiped out overnight. But I think also testament to, it is possible, it is doable, and I know personally that your business has worked really hard to make sure that you kind of make that jump into this new way of how we live. So just going back to that topic of efficiency and productivity, because I feel like that is something that is kind of, being used as the badge of you should be using tech in order to be more efficient and productive and seamless. Lee, would you have some examples of kind of tech solutions or anything like that you find particularly useful in this arena of efficiency for businesses?
Sure. So when I was thinking about what to say in this meeting that would benefit the most people, I thought about one particular example that I think is universal to all businesses. Anyone can do what I'm going to talk about. So when we first downsized our staff during the pandemic, our inbox was flooded with people writing in about show cancellations, shows being rescheduled. We represent 1% of all of the tickets sold in the UK for theatre shows. So we had a huge volume of inquiries, all coming at the same time with a reduced staff. So we did 3 different things to reduce the amount of time it took for our team to respond to those. And this is something that everyone can apply. We really looked at patterns in the questions being asked. And then we took 3 different steps, as I said. The first was to develop a series of canned responses, which we could just quickly send out, which addressed the answer to that specific question. So that covered anyone that had our email address and they were writing in with the same question. But more importantly, we redesigned our contact form. We didn't want to be one of these companies that stop you getting in touch with us, but what we did do was just introduce a couple of steps before they were able to contact us. Like, is your question one of these? And if it is, here's the answer. Do you still need to contact us? And we found that reduced our email traffic by 65% because we were giving people the information they needed before they had to contact us. We just made it easier for them to find it by putting it on our contact form instead of expecting them to run around the website trying to find it. Now, that particular piece of work took our developers 12 hours to put together and maybe 2 hours for me to write the logic for it. So it was relatively little investment for a massive return. And the third thing we did in the same solving the same problem was just create an automatic reply, which again reiterated everything that you can do, that we can do, our team can do, you can do much quicker in your account. Here are guides to do X, Y, Z. And we found that really helped when our staff it suddenly became manageable again instead of insurmountable.
That is that's fantastic. Again, thank you so much for sharing. And I hope some of the bigger telecoms companies are listening, because I feel like especially that note around running around a website trying to get help and then just being told that you can't get in touch anyways. Certainly a customer experience that I've had in the past, not just in the past couple of months, but yeah, no, I think loads of tips, and I know there's quite a few businesses listening in today, so hopefully some valuable information in that regard. Tom, from your business's perspective, which type of solutions would you highlight as being particularly valuable for efficiencies? Oh, you're still on mute. Sorry, Tom.
Sorry about that. Not learned after 18 months of doing this. Yeah, I think that obviously everything in its own way, but to pick out a couple, I think we first approach all of our pieces of tech, because there's plenty of people out there willing to sell you technology, is we approach it with a sort of 2 key criteria. We just look at, does it improve what we do for our customers, and does it improve our productivity? So it ties really nicely in with this. And if it satisfies both of those, then there's absolutely no reason in our eyes why we shouldn't be moving forward with that piece of technology. So, to use some examples, it doesn't even have to be new technology. So I'll just focus on one. We have the EDI technology in the business now, which we didn't used to have, when it's 2 systems just talking to each other. So that instead of manually placing orders over the phone or over an email and then having to key those orders in with the error rate that may have, we can just API our systems to talk to each other, and they automatically go into our system error-free, or exactly how the customer wishes. This technology has been around for 30, 40 years, maybe even longer. But obviously a big focus of that. So then we could improve our customer service, because we had less time in our office dealing with data entry. and more time to actually find out what the customer wants and how we can help them better.
Mm-hmm. Again, thank you. Some really great examples in that regard. And I think a really important message, just because we talk about new technology, that could mean two things. It could mean that it is new technology, or it is something new. It's technology that is new to a business. Because again, I'm always really conscious, and I've mentioned it before. The biggest learning throughout the last 18 months is technology adoption is really, really different for every business, and the starting points are sometimes really from the ground up. But again, I think hopefully after today, the encouragement of it doesn't have to be a strenuous journey, and there's just like the businesses on here today, there's some really, really fantastic examples of what people have done. Now I know Ben, just kind of looking towards you again, because you have, I guess, I'm going to call it a benefit, or or shall we call it, you had to go through the pain of really fast tech adoption. I'm sure there's some learnings that might have taken a longer time for someone that had the luxury of more time. What were kind of the key learnings or pitfalls to avoid, or any kind of any advice you might have for someone that wants to do this, other than take your time?
Yeah, indeed. I think I'm reasonably impatient when it comes to adoption of tech anyway, which helps make it always feel like it's urgent. But I think for me, I've already touched on kind of being really specific with your requirements. I think for me as well, though, it's just not striving for perfection, because it's, in my experience at least, it's highly unlikely that you will find a piece of tech off the shelf that meets your requirements perfectly, like every single thing you want within it. I don't think there's any systems we use that do that. The only exception I give to that rule is if you're Amazon, where basically suppliers will bend over backwards to accommodate you. But if you're not Amazon, then they probably won't. So you have limitations there. And again, that's okay. Like 8 out of 10 is fine. Like and for most of the systems we use, it's around that point, 8 out of 10. There are certain things where I'm like, if it did this, that would make my life a bit easier. But is it causing me hell? No, not really. It's a minor inconvenience. So I would firstly say you don't necessarily need to strive for perfection. I'm not saying take on a system that's complete trash, but there is a spectrum there, and I think it's fine to fall within that. I think also just think deeply about the cost benefit analysis. The cost versus benefits of whatever you're adopting, and a company is an ever-changing picture. It's fine to not adopt something now thinking you might adopt it in the future, because you can see that the cost benefit is going to tip at some point. There are certain processes I can think of internally. I can literally think of an example of something we do manually at the moment, a certain process in terms of kind of what we call a critical non-essential that we send out to some of our clients after games. And at the moment we send it out manually, and we have explored how we do it in an automated way. We've got a company that have literally quoted us. They've said how they can do it. So we know we can press go on that whenever we want, but we haven't yet, because actually at the moment, it's not a lot of work. Manually, it's really not a lot of work. When it becomes a lot of work, we will press go on that. It will become worth the investment. But right now it doesn't work as a trade-off. So I would just accept that sometimes, even though you might think a bit of tech will be valuable at some point, it's okay that it's not valuable right now. You can wait. Your business will change in the same way that you will also drop off using certain bits of tech, or certain bits of tech you use might not grow with you. I know that's always like the holy grail of a lot of platforms, particularly CRM systems, are like, we grow with your business. I haven't come across many that do, if I'm perfectly honest. They're either too big for the size of us, or I can see they're going to be too small in the future. We use HubSpot. It's pretty good, but I think they'll hit a ceiling eventually. So that's okay. Like, your business evolves, your technology will evolve alongside it as well. So I think for me, and that's also what we always say with our clients, because the way we build games is platform agnostic. So if it's for an event, it might be within the platform that's being used for that event. If it's a training game, we'll put different options on the table, and we'll normally put a low tech, a medium tech, and a high tech option on the table. Unsurprisingly, the high tech option is the one that costs the most money most of the time. And that's just how it is. But normally when we're speaking to the client, we'll say, based on your particular circumstances, you're fine with this. Like, you don't need the high tech. Whereas others will be like, you need the high tech because you need to scale this across a large workforce. It's a big training game. You need that you need the technology underpinning it. So just recognize the cost benefit analysis for each use case, I would say.
Okay. Well, again, some really great kind of insights. We've heard, just from memory to kind of like summarize some of the tips that we've heard from Tom. Really listen to workforce and kind of collaborate with them before you kind of deploy tech. I think this is a very important message to the businesses listening in today. Lee, I think your example around what processes are repetitive and could be solved by tech, and really reviewing that client journey and seeing quick wins, and then also inserting tech. I thought that was a really powerful example, so thank you very much for that. And I think from your perspective then, everything around don't strive for perfection, really know your requirements, be okay with having a tech solution. And actually that was a message from all three of you, was around you're not married long-term to the tech solution. It's free to kind of you're free, shall I say, you're free to kind of test something out and then see whether it works. I think it's worth mentioning the tool, the tech adoption service does let you kind of look out for offers where you get a certain amount of time to check out a solution for free, to test it, and it kind of you can filter by price and all of those different important elements that you guys have talked about today. So that unfortunately kind of brings us to the end of this roundtable. So thank you so much for so generously sharing your insights. Before you go though, please let the audience know where they can find you, yourselves and your businesses, and is there anything new for your business on the horizon that we should be looking out for? Tom, do you want to start us off again?
The nature of this talk is there's always new things, as I said. So I think just to add one thing on a really good tip that I found, it doesn't work for everyone, but for me it's really been keep it as out of the box as possible. Find the solution. Don't start tweaking with the solution, because once you start messing around with it, it causes a load of knock-on consequences when you want to update or change things. So I think that's a really valuable piece. But in terms of things from us, we're making the business more and more complex all the time. We've just launched fresh produce, which was something that we didn't sell, and we're moving into frozen food as well. So we've got that, and we've got a 2-year project starting on a digital transformation. So we'll be working on improving our e-commerce offering. So we've got loads going on and lots to look forward to.
Really, really inspiring. I'm really looking forward to kind of seeing that journey and hearing more about it. Thank you so much for today, Tom.
Thanks,
Lee.
Hi, everyone. If you want to check out what we do, you can visit centraltickets.co.uk, where you can register for a free membership. And upcoming, we have an app in the pipeline. It should be coming out in the next few weeks. And we're doing an exclusive launch with money-saving experts. So if you're on their mailing list, you'll hear about us.
Perfect. Wow. Thank you. And Ben?
Yep. So feel free to add me on LinkedIn, Ben Fowler. In terms of our company, Alternate Experiences, it's Alt Experiences, as in ALT experiences.co.uk. One of my employees still can't spell the experiences bit correctly after a year. But anyway, altexperiences.co.uk. In terms of what we're doing in particular over the next 3 to 4 months, conference season is coming up in September, October time, and we do a lot of games for events, specifically to increase audience engagement at events. So we kind of bake the games into the overall event themselves. So if you're curious about that at all, just drop me a message. We have like a free game idea quiz generator thing that we can send you, and it will give you a bunch of free game ideas basically for your event.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And again, thank you all for joining today. And as I said, I'll be looking out for all of those upcoming things. Thank you. So now moving on to the next and final point on our agenda is what I have no doubt everyone was waiting for, which is the demo of the tool. So please let's welcome Maria from the Greater London Authority that will give us a demo and walk us through the tool.
Sorry, struggled a little bit with technology there. Thanks so much, Sarah, and thanks so much, everyone, for joining the session today. My name is Maria Geftar. I lead on technology and innovation policy at the Greater London Authority, and it is absolutely my pleasure to walk you through what the platform looks like today and how you can use it to help with your technology adoption. needs, and also how you can get listed as a technology supplier as well. So I'm just going to share my screen and walk you through it now. Great. So we'll obviously be sharing a link to the tool in the chat and as a follow-up. This is the London business version of the tool. The Manchester growth company version looks very, very similar. And basically, when you click through the link, this is where you'll land. If you know what you're looking for, you can jump straight in and search for a specific solution or a specific software category. Just to kind of flag that this is a beta version of the site, so we really welcome any feedback, and obviously we'd love for you to use it, but also to feedback on what your experience has been like. So if you don't know exactly what you're looking for, but you're kind of looking to browse and to find out more, you can start with a goal. So we've designed this specifically to kind of avoid jargon about CRMs and various different acronyms and actually focus on what will help your business to improve efficiencies and kind of, sort of help with your day-to-day operations. We've got about 450, over 450 solutions listed on the site currently, and looking to obviously expand that as we scale the platform from beta and onwards. But just to kind of run you through the flow, let's say that as a small business in London or Manchester, you're looking to kind of save time and increase productivity. So here we'll just ask a couple of quick questions to understand your business size and what specific tasks might you be kind of looking to do as part of your business. So let's say you want to improve customer relationships, you want to manage projects, you might want to do better email marketing, and sort of automate business processes. Well, just to kind of say, for example, you're not sure what kind of budget you're at, but you're looking for something that may be free or cheap. That will then kind of pull you through to kind of software categories that might support you in reaching that business goal. So here we've got automation and a couple of solutions that are listed there, email marketing, project management, and sales and customer relationship management to help you kind of maintain and manage your interactions with existing and potential customers. So let's say kind of what interested you most here and what sounds like it's most aligned with what you're looking to do and to improve within your business. The CRM, customer relationship management solution, might be most suited. So at this point, you can just go in and kind of browse through the solutions that are listed here. You can sort of filter by business size, pricing, where it's deployed. And what we mean by that is, can you use it on a mobile app? Can you use it in the cloud, or do you need to download it? Features and other bits. You can also compare. So you can choose kind of up to 4 solutions to compare, and you can do that comparison across a number of different factors. So pricing, features, and deployment as well. It depends on how much information that company has provided as part of their listing. So there may be more or less depending on what they've provided, and obviously as part of kind of post-beta iterations of the tool, we'd be looking to kind of expand the amount of information kind of through the platform. If you already know kind of what solution you're looking for, then you can jump straight into solutions. And let's say you're looking for HR and recruitment software. You can kind of jump straight into here and browse through a listing, find out more about the supplier, the features, their contact info, and also kind of see similar solutions within that category, and then kind of jump off onto their website. We've also got a section to kind of break down each software category to try to elaborate and explain in a bit more detail what that means and what it can potentially do for you, for your business, and how it can help. This is another kind of part of the platform that we'd be looking to expand going forward and provide more kind of in-depth guides and checklists to help you kind of through kind of that software buying journey. Now, on the other hand, if you're a tech vendor who's potentially looking to get listed on here, this is a great way to obviously gain access to kind of small businesses and a new market within kind of across kind of London, Manchester, and the UK, and to drive up sales. So in order to get listed, it's really quite simple. So this is the link, and it's kind of in the footer here as well. to get listed. All you need to do is fill in a form just to kind of provide a bit more information about yourself and your company and your solution. There's a PDF version of the form accessible here, where you can see exactly what kind of questions might be asked about your company. And obviously, just to say that try to add as much information about your listing as possible. It really helps kind of businesses and customers better understand your offering and better be able to compare across other solutions. So that's basically kind of how the platform looks now, and hopefully that all makes sense. But please do get in touch with any questions, and yeah, we're happy to help. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Maria, for that whistle-stop tour of the tool. You know, as you've highlighted, loads of different kind of avenues around education and being able to segment. There's been some great questions in the comment section as well around whether we'll be able to look up specific localities or different sectors. All of that is to come, because really it's the feedback from the businesses that we're looking for in order to evolve it and make it better. And I know, Maria, you've been working really hard on this. So thank you so much for sharing it with us today, and thank you for helping us with this in general. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Right. So what is there left to say? Just please go and check it out yourself. Please give us feedback, give us recommendations on how the tool can be made better for you, because really it's there for the businesses. We are hoping, so whilst currently it's not sector specific at all, it's about the tools and the solutions and the goals. We're hoping that eventually we can start based on the user kind of experience and the feedback that we're getting from different sectors. We're hoping we can make recommendations for specific subsectors, just again to take out that one step in that what potentially could be a quite confusing journey for some of the businesses. So please go and check it out, as I said. And if you don't know the hub already, for those that are based in GM, please come and check us out. We support thousands of startups, scale-ups, freelancers, and SMEs across the city region. There's a lot of support in the London region as well. Some of the programs that we're currently running that I know are open for applications are things like Digital Springboard, Greater Connected, Access to Finance programs, or our Global Scale-Up program, which again is really closely collaborating with the London region, and that's helping businesses to embark on their successful journey. In addition to these programs, the Hub's Innovation and Digitalization team offer fully funded one-to-one specialist support to help you and guide you through adopting the tech in your business. You can find out more about the Business Growth Hub on businessgrowthhub.com, Business Growth Hub all one word, or by calling our team between the hours of 8:30 and 5:30, Monday to Friday, on 0161 359 3050. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Thank you so much to the team behind developing the tech adoption service tool at We Are Atmosphere, as well as the funders, of course, and the events team that has brought the event here to us today. I hope you found the insights useful. I hope you found the information about the tool enticing. And I hope you get to enjoy what is left of the heat wave. Thank you very much. And I hope to see everyone in person soon. Bye.